I'm gonna quote my good friend Oprah. We're really close, guys, and I don't talk about it a lot because I want to live a normal life. Okay, so it's 2019 and I am back doing more video, and this time I am back with a vengeance. I have a plan, I'm ready, and I wanted to try something really different, and it's me literally like sitting in my apartment looking straight into the camera, which is on a tripod. And as I prepared for this adventure, I bought a ring light. So I feel like I have been watching a lot of YouTube vloggers, and I know that they use lighting equipment, and it finally got to the point where I was like, I want to try that. And like, Jackie Aina, I'm obsessed with you. You have to use a ring light, I'm sure, because you're also doing beauty. How do you do this all of the time? I literally feel like I'm going to go blind. It's so bright. I mean, whatever, I look beautiful and well lit, but I can't see. So yes, the latest addition to my equipment family is this ring light, and I was talking about it with my friend Sean, who does a lot of video, and I was saying how I bought a ring light, and he goes, oh, that's how it always starts. You buy one piece of equipment, then you buy another piece of equipment, and then before you know it, you've got all this equipment. And I was like, no, that's not gonna be me. I just need the light and I'll be good. But what I feel like I might also want to get is an external mic, because right now I'm just using the mic that's on the camera. So yeah, I might buy a mic. Even if I don't, that's totally fine, because I'm just gonna jump back into it. I'm gonna jump back into making videos. You know, pimples and all. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not gonna zoom in because I respect myself.
I feel like you're full of shit.
So when I thought about 2019, I wanted to make this a true year of creativity. In 2017, I actually created a 1-month writing challenge where every day I would write something new, I would publish it, and then I would promote it on my social media accounts. And I will say it was a phenomenal experience. And one of the really lovely byproducts of that was that Medium, they considered me one of their top writers. I don't publish as much on Medium anymore, or as frequently, so I'm no longer considered one of their top writers, but for a short period of time, man, I got an email that was like, oh, you're a top writer in this category. And then in 2018, I told myself that I would start and complete the first draft of my debut manuscript, and things took off like a rocket ship, because at the beginning of May, I moved from New York to Chicago, which is where I am right now, and I left my job, I left everything because I needed to just restart myself and find myself again, and that could be a whole other video in itself. But when I got to Chicago, I had about a month and a half that I wasn't working, and so I actually wrote the first draft of this manuscript within a month and a half. I would wake up in the morning, I would go to a cafe, and I would just write, and it was amazing. So now that I'm in 2019, I want to continue challenging myself creatively. And so it's two things that I really have decided that I want to focus on. The first, clearly, is video. So what I want to do. Well,
what you want to do is not necessarily what you're gonna do.
And I feel so good and confident about it. What I want to do is publish one new video every month for at least 6 months consecutively. What I'll do is most likely publish them on the last Thursday of every month, because that coincides with my favorite day of the week, and it also coincides with this whole branding thing that I've got going on with Thursday's Journal. So you are watching video 1. So every month there will be one topic that I have brainstormed in advance, and I think also why it reminds me so much of the writing challenge is I want to say either during the writing challenge or right after, I'm going to bring up my friend Sarah. She DM'd me about this idea of being okay with the gray space. And the gray space is where you know that your performance might not have been 100%. how do you deal with moving forward even though it might not have been 100%? And I thought that was a phenomenal way of thinking about it, because everything is always so black and white with people, where it's like you're great or you're horrible. But in reality, not everyone is going to be 100% at all times, and I think that's okay. So with this, I'm not an expert video maker, I'm not an expert vlogger like some people out there. So is every video going to be groundbreaking? Probably not. I would like to think that they will be, but the reality is they're not going to be, and that's totally okay, because I feel like if you just don't do things, you'll never know how to actually get better. But I want to transition to my manuscript. So it is a campy thriller inspired by some of my favorite horror creators: Wes Craven, R.L. Stine, Tom Savage, who does not get the credit he deserves, Kevin Williamson. And they're all so different, because I feel like anyone who, you all know R.L. Stine, like Fear Street, Goosebumps. Wes Craven was from Ohio, awesome. So I love him in so many different ways, rest in peace. Kevin Williamson, gay man, cool. And now there is Jordan Peele, who I never looked at him before because I know him from his comedy, and I'm just not a comedy person. But he has recently, with Get Out and Us, has become somewhat of an inspiration as well, because I think he is also showing mainstream media that Black men can also create content in this space and be in this space. So the book that I'm writing is a campy thriller, and it is about a group of social media influencers who are invited to a private island. And little do they know, it's for sinister reasons. There are some psycho killers on the island who are exacting their revenge against the influencers. There's much more to it than that, but that's in a nutshell sort of what it's about. And I am super excited about it, because the story itself has a protagonist who is gay and Black and a creative. And I feel like those types of stories just are not told very often or very frequently. So I have not only the first draft, I have like 3 drafts done that I've done. How many times can I say done? I have 3 drafts that I've gone through. A different way of framing that. But it's in a really, in my opinion, it's in a really good spot. I have 56,000 words, which I'm still beefing that up. The general word count is anywhere between 80 to 100,000 words, but I've also read a handful of articles that say you can get by with 50, but you know, anything less than that is not really considered a complete work of art. So things are moving along really well with it. And the thing with the manuscript this year in 2019 is to hit that word count and then begin pitching it to literary agents. In 2018, before I left New York City, I actually took a class with the Gotham Writers Workshop, and it was about how to get published, which clearly at the time when I took that particular workshop, I was not ready at all to be published. But because I knew that I was going to write a book, what do I do then? And so when we were in the class, the instructor, who was also a literary agent, she had everyone in the room write a synopsis for their book. And I'm just like, oh no, I didn't have anything. I did not necessarily have 300,000 words like the guy that sat next to me because he was writing some epic fantasy. I didn't have anything besides an outline. And when I read it, she asked me to read it again. And then at the end of that, she told me how impressed she was that I had such a clear synopsis. And she told me that I clearly knew where I wanted my story to go and what audience I was speaking to, that I wanted to speak to. And she basically told me that the synopsis was incredible, and now the next step was for me to just write the book. So that gave me a lot of confidence. Since I shared with people the fact that I'm writing a book, I've had two people ask me, how do you write a book? And I'm just like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sure the process is different for everyone. And what was most fascinating, honestly, because I've never done this before, as I'm writing, I thought I knew exactly how things were gonna go. And as I'm writing, two of the characters spoke to me and they were like, I'm actually the killer. And one of them was like, I can't, like, I need to do this. And so I had to go back and sort of change my entire outline to make sure that things were connecting and fitting, and that I could leave little like Easter eggs earlier on to try and allude to once the killers are revealed. You're like, ooh, like that, you know, back on page 50, like, oh God. And it was really awesome because I've never had that happen. I don't know, it's weird, and people might think it's corny, but you know, the characters in this book, despite the fact that they are fiction, they've lived in my head now for over a year now, and I can't wait to sort of be done with this particular story so that I can put it to bed and let those characters go, because even right now, even today, they are in my head. Tons of them. And I need some rest. I'm exhausted. They're making me go crazy. So once I can wrap things up with this current revision, I'm gonna start pitching literary agents, which I'm so nervous but oddly excited to get to, because I say this a lot to younger people, unless you die, you're gonna get another opportunity to do it tomorrow or the day after. So you can't get so caught up on all of the tiny details. You just gotta start whatever it is that you want to start. The writing, I'm really proud of myself for pushing through all of my different insecurities and just doing it. You know, if something sucks, it sucks, but that's okay. You can try again. Pick yourself up and try again. Thank you, Aaliyah, for that iconic track. Yeah, you're always gonna have another opportunity to try again. I'm gonna quote my good friend OPRAH. We're really close, guys, and I don't talk about it a lot because I wanna live a normal life, and I feel like if people knew how close we were, they'd be all up in my business, trying to get her number, trying to get a meeting with her, but like, back up, she's my friend. But anyway, she mentioned in an interview that she's never done until her last breath. Anyway, I'm just super excited for everything that's gonna come in 2019. I'm excited especially to be back making video content, and whoever you are watching this, I hope you're excited about whatever's going on in your life too, because you should be, because you're alive and you have an opportunity to do whatever it is you want. That's it, I'm done. I'm gonna go do something else.